All right, super quick video, gonna be super short, but I wanted to hop on here and go over the patch notes in the patch that just dropped today. This is actually a huge patch in my opinion, although the list is very short. There's one thing in here that is absolutely insane, and I cannot be more excited for it. I'm sure you guys have already seen tons of other videos on patch note updates, but for the 10 people that come to me for updates on the game, here you go. All right, so again, patch 14.5.5, there are a list of changes and a list of fixes. Again, very short. However, there's some pretty big stuff in here. Now, from my understanding, some of these were things that were brought up in the interview that Pestily did with Nikita. I watched about half of the video. I still need to go back and watch the other half, but there are some things in here that were in that interview. All right, so first up, we got the list of changes, and the first one is optimize the algorithm of AI spawns at the start of online raids. I don't know if this has anything to do with bosses or just scavs in general, but we should be seeing a slight difference in AI overall. I would assume this means like once you get into a raid, there's probably going to be already some AI there, because if you guys have never noticed, sometimes you get into a raid and it takes like a few minutes for AI to even spawn in. So hopefully that's what they mean by that. Next up is going to be added new weapon switching sounds depending on its type and length. I'm not really sure if they mean like shoulder swapping or if they mean like switching between weapons if you have one in your primary slot or secondary slot. So I'm going to jump in the game and test that out real quick. All right, I got two guns right here. We're going to go into the hideout and see what they mean by this. All right, so first we're going to try shoulder swapping. All right, so I'm not hearing any sound on the shoulder swapping, so we're going to switch to our other gun. All right, so I didn't really hear anything new, so I'm going to grab a bigger gun and put that into my... Actually, I'm going to go over here and grab like this. We're going to try out a couple of different things here. All right, so we got an assault rifle. Let's switch to the LMG. Okay, I'm not really noticing any kind of difference here. There's no sound with that. I don't know if this is only going to be like an in-raid thing or if it's supposed to be working like that, but I don't hear anything new with shoulder swapping. So unfortunately, I'm not really sure what they mean by that. So if you guys know, drop it down in the comments. All right, next up is going to be balancing adjustments to the trader item limit system. So basically what they mean by this is there's always been some items that you kind of had to camp and wait for it to reset. That way you would actually be able to get it. And the first thing that I immediately went and checked when I saw this was the ammo box on mechanic. I've probably been able to buy only one of these with rubles. The rest of them I've had to trade for. And as you guys can see now, instead of there being a small amount that you can get, it says a lot, and you can go in here and buy ammo boxes now instead of doing the barter or spending like 600k on them on the flea market. So honestly, this is probably going to drop the price of them a good bit. Yeah, these things were like 650k yesterday. Now they're already dropped below 500. So now you guys can finally go and get ammo boxes. And I'm not sure if they upped this to 2 or if it was 2 before, but I want to say it was 1 before. So have a look around, see if there's anything else you guys can find out. If you guys know, drop it in the comments. All right, next up is going to be added an achievement for players who completed the quest chain in the spring event. This one's kind of just like, whatever, who cares? I didn't complete the quest chain, so I obviously don't have the achievement. But for those of you who are curious what that looks like, we will jump over to the achievement tabs, scroll all the way down, and it is this right here. So if you finish all of the quests, you will have that achievement. And finally, on the list of changes, they added new PMC outfits available both for purchase on the website and as rewards for completing the new quests. So we got 2 new PMC tops and 2 new PMC bottoms, both for Bear and USEC. And we'll go ahead and jump into the game real quick, hop over to Ragman, and I will show you guys those real quick. So for the top, we've got this USEC Ranger green top, looks pretty cool. And then also you got these USEC Ranger green bottoms. Honestly, I kind of like this. It's not bad. It looks pretty good in my opinion. The other one I'm not really a huge fan of. I think this top is kind of ugly. It looks kind of dumb in my opinion, but we did get this one, and we also got these pants with it. I don't mind the pants. They actually don't look too bad. I am a hoodie enjoyer, so these would actually look pretty good with it. They added these clothes to the microtransaction list of things that you can buy with real money, but also there are new tasks in order to get them if you would like to not spend real money. So you got Drip Out Part 1 and Drip Out out part 2. Part 1 is going to be killing 100 raiders and turning in 50 pieces of Wartech brand equipment, and they have to be found in raid. And then drip out part 2 is going to be killing 100 rogue and hand over found in raid LBT brand equipment. So for example is going to be these rigs right here. I'm not giving those up. I love those rigs and they're kind of worth a good bit of money, so don't really care about that. But if you want the new clothes, you're not going to be able to get them unless you complete those quests or spend real money on it. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's it for all of the changes. Let's go down to the list of fixes. First up is going to be fix the overlapping sound when breaking fluorescent lamps. This one, I didn't know it was an issue. I don't really find myself shooting out lights a lot, so if you guys notice anything different there, be sure to let me know. Next is going to be adjusted the volume of container searching, equipment, weapon switching, as well as crouch movement with minimum speed. Now we'll get to that last one in just a second. Let's talk about the other ones first because the last one is huge. Container searching, hopefully they dropped the sound of that quite a bit because it was incredibly loud. I'm not going to jump into a raid right now and test it out, but I will be doing that later on in my stream. So if you guys see this video live, that means I'm probably live on Twitch, so feel free to stop by and say what's up. Equipment, I actually did notice that when I was switching through weapons, it did seem a little bit quieter. Although we didn't find like the new sound that it was talking about, it definitely was a good bit quieter. I'm pretty sure I just said equipment for that last one, but I meant weapon switching, and I'm not really sure what they mean by equipment. Maybe it means like when you drop your bag or something like that. I'm not really sure. If you guys know, be sure to leave a comment. And finally, the last one in this bullet point is going to be crouched movement with minimum speed. So unfortunately, I don't have somebody right now that I can go test this with and see like how loud it is, but maybe I can hop into a scav raid later and run into another person and test it out and see what that sounds like. So if you guys are interested in seeing some testing, maybe we'll be doing that on stream later. We'll have to wait and see. But this is absolutely huge. People have been complaining about crab walking for so long now. I'm not gonna lie, I've complained about it myself, and I've also kind of been a hypocrite and used it to my advantage in some cases. But I would much rather it be out of the game completely and nobody be able to move silently than be able to use it myself for that little bit of an advantage. So I think this is super good for the game. I know some people are going to be like really upset about it because it was a very powerful way, like maybe you weren't so good at the game, maybe your aim wasn't so good. It kind of gave you a way to take advantage of other players and sneak up on them without them being able to hear you. But I think it is a really good thing that they took out the silent crab walking, because it wasn't in the game when I started playing, then it was for a really long time, and now it's not. But we'll have to test it out and see what it sounds like. Next up is going to be fix the noise in the ambient sounds on woods. I'm not really sure which noises they fixed, but I will tell you I was playing woods for a couple of days doing a lightkeeper quest, and the amount of times that I was just walking around and I heard something behind me that sounded like somebody walking through a tree or stepping in grass or something like that, and I just swung around to see absolutely nobody there. These ambient noises were just like really bad, and I was basically walking around woods with an insane amount of anxiety, more than I normally would, and it was just not good. So hopefully they fix it, and hopefully it doesn't sound like super crazy anymore. And then finally, fix the display of the sorting table button for different monitor aspect ratios. I don't think this one really affected me. I know that they did move it up here to the top. It used to be down here, but they moved it up to the top a couple of updates ago. But I guess some people were having trouble with it based on their monitor size. Maybe they weren't able to click it, or maybe it was like stretched out or something. I'm not really sure. Didn't affect me, so who knows. Anyways, that's it. Very small list of things that they changed, but a lot of big ticket items in here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you guys go into raids and test some of this out, please be sure to go down in the comments and give your thoughts on it so other people will know. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.